I have a report from the Heritage Foundation titled Tracking Movement of Illegal Aliens from NGOs to Interior of the USA.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
They are accusing Democrats of saying we spend too much. For anyone that wants to entertain that thought, I ask you to think about the last time a person has said in this country that the government does too much for them, that their Social Security check was too high, that teachers are paid too much. When was the last time anyone has heard or seen that?
Hey everyone, did you just hear that? Seriously, when was the last time anyone said the government does too much? Wow, where do you even start with that? I'm pretty sure half the country asks that question every single day. But that opening clip, that's the perfect setup for what's coming next. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're not just watching a random clip, we're watching a political masterclass. This is from a congressional hearing featuring Representative Troy Nehls, a Republican who doesn't just make a point. He completely flips the script. He sits there calmly, lets the evidence do the talking, and uses the Democrats' own history against them. It's brilliant. The clip we're about to watch is his full presentation. It's only a few minutes long, but trust me, every single second is worth it. It perfectly answers that question from the opening moment. So let's roll the full video. And hey, if you're as sick of the hypocrisy and double standards as I am, and you love seeing the facts laid out clearly, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. That tells YouTube you're here for the truth. All right, let's dive in.
Members of this committee, please turn your attention to the video screens.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
You believe in open borders and complete chaos. Did you notice the bipartisan support in the chamber? As the video was played, everybody was clapping in that chamber. If I were in Congress in 1995, I would have also stood. Because I wasn't, I stand here today. Other than President Donald J. Trump, the greatest president in my lifetime, with the most safest and secure border, I believe President Clinton understood just how important border security is to our nation. But boy, oh boy, have times changed. 28 years later, the left has gone off the rails. They've gone completely nuts. They've done just the opposite of what the leader of the Democrat Party, President Clinton, stood for on border security in 1995. This committee's ranking member, he was in Congress in 1995. I assume he stood. It seemed like the majority, if not all of the entire chamber, they stood. Matter of fact, Mr. Clinton delivered his speech in the third year of his first term. And he was reelected in 1996. He beat Bob Dole, won by over 8 million votes, won the Electoral College 379 to 159. He had the support of the American people, and I'm going to assume the ranking member also voted for Bill Clinton in 1996. We have two other members, Ms. Jackson and Ms. Lofgren. They were both freshmen at the time. I will assume they stood during that powerful speech as well. And do you know why they supported and voted? They voted for legislation in 1996 strengthening our immigration laws. I applaud them for that. So what's changed, folks? What's changed with the Democrat Party? I'll tell you what's changed. If you wouldn't have heard President Clinton's voice or seen his face, you would have thought Donald Trump delivered that speech. I don't believe that President Clinton was called a racist, a white supremacist who hated immigrants, as the left and the dishonest media has painted Donald J. Trump to be. I have a report from the Heritage Foundation titled Tracking Movement of Illegal Aliens from NGOs to Interior of the USA. Why do you think NGOs have moved illegal immigrants to 431 of the 435 congressional districts? The truth is, hear me, it's because the Democrats' progressive policies are not acceptable to Americans. Heritage obtained a sampling of approximately 30,000 cell phones that were tracked to NGOs along border states. They tracked approximately 22,000 devices at 20 NGO locations in January 2022. The same devices were later traced to 431 separate U.S. congressional districts, and of the 52 with the highest rate of tracked devices, 71 of them were Republican congressional districts. The report revealed that it's not a coincidence, folks. The flood of illegal immigrants means a continual rise in surplus laborers. That surplus drives down the wages of existing middle-class and lower-class job holders until they leave the job forces, and then they're forced to go on welfare with the hopes that they will become loyal supporters of the Democrats. That's what this is all about.
Can we just take a second and appreciate that? Because that is how it's done. That's how you expose the whole game. Nehls didn't yell, didn't lose his temper, didn't even talk much. He simply looked around the room and said, "Roll the tape." And who was in that tape? Not some conservative commentator, not Donald Trump. No, it was the face of the Democratic Party from the 1990s, President Bill Clinton. And what did Clinton say in that State of the Union address? Let's go over it again. He said he was disturbed by the large number of illegal aliens, that they were a burden on taxpayers, that he was taking action to secure the border, hiring a record number of new border guards, deporting twice as many criminal aliens, cracking down on illegal hiring, and cutting off welfare benefits for illegal immigrants. Then came the big finale. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong to allow abuse of our immigration system. We must do more to stop it. And as Nehls pointed out, if you closed your eyes and didn't know who was speaking, you'd think that was a Republican platform speech from today. Word for word, the same talking points that now get you labeled a racist, a white supremacist, or a xenophobe. But the best part, that standing ovation, that wasn't a Republican rally in Alabama. That was the U.S. Congress. Democrats and Republicans standing side by side, clapping like crazy for a message that would get you canceled today. And that's why I started this video with that AOC clip. She's on the House floor, asking, when has anyone ever said the government does too much? When has anyone ever complained about being overtaxed? Meanwhile, Nehls plays a clip from her own party's president, basically saying the government isn't doing enough to protect taxpayers and enforce the law. The contrast is jaw-dropping. Then Nehls drives it home with the question that cuts through everything. What changed? Did the border change? Did the laws change? No, the politics changed. The party changed. He showed, using their own words, that this isn't about morality or fairness. It's about political convenience, he said. You all know this is a real problem. You used to applaud efforts to fix it. And then he drops the hammer, citing that Heritage Foundation report, saying it's all part of a political strategy, keep wages low and bring in a new group of dependent voters who'll stay loyal to the Democrats. You can try to argue, but you can't argue with their own president's words. That's how you win a debate. You don't just argue, you prove that the other side has been pretending the whole time. Anyway, that's my take. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this one of the biggest political flip-flops in American history? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you next time.